Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Alinal. The title of this video is It's No Coincidence. All right. And basically, it's no coincidence of the things happening around the world right now and certain events that's taking place, right? Which basically is ushering in the reset. All right. So let me get this scripture right here. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, least Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices, right? So we know, right, and understand how this devil is coming and how he's going to move because the scriptures laid out for us and what it lays out for us. And, what we have to learn, basically just by watching is that first and foremost, this devil's going to bring, a reset, basically. He's gonna reset to bring out the new, the MOTV, which is basically New World Order. And he always does things, right, to bring about something, basically order out of chaos, right? Order out of chaos. So he brings in the chaos to bring in a new order. That's why you had things like the 9/11 event, and then you had the Sea Ragamuffin event, right? And those are things to put the squeeze, on people, even regarding wars. He'll bring chaos like a war to bring in some type of order when people don't agree, right? Watching one of the elder brothers earlier today, he was talking about how, when the USSR fell, and basically Putin took over. But basically, when that Bretton Woods agreement with the dollar being backed, by the oil and whatnot, the USSR didn't, agree with it. Then they had a Cold War, right, basically between America and USSR and whatnot. But ultimately, it was some chaos to bring in an order, right? So just that was like a grander scale. But even now, in these last days, that's exactly what's happening, right? That the whole hammer of the earth is coming down with great wrath because he know that he had but a short time, right? Let me grab this. Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice in the heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." All right, so we can clearly see, this devil moving and bringing about his new world order, right, which is going into that micro C hit, right? And all these are also the effects and signs of the end, right? The scriptures speaking, right? I'm gonna grab this real quick. So Revelations 13:11, it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Right, this beast is talking about America. Two horns is talking about two different parties, right? And the dragon is talking about the draconian measures that has basically got us to this point, right? With each new president, executive orders were signed, places were bombed, different things happened. Even though there was two different sides, Republican or Democratic Party, the agenda pushing forward toward, where we're at now was the draconian measures, and they're only getting more stricter and more harsh. Right? It says, "And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." Now, the first beast was the Roman Empire, and the deadly wound was healed through the rebirth, right? The Renaissance period, basically when America, where Rome came back to what is now known as America. It says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." Right? He dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Japan. He dropped the bombs on them. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live." Right, and this image is going into New World Order, right? And basically his system. All right. how he's trying to set up this new world order, digital world, and we can see that happening, all around the world. What we have now, what I'm getting to with this video here regarding the oil refineries. Now, this is in Australia. This is something. This should be somewhere far, far away, from the chaos of war and things like that, right? If you look at the map, Australia is nowhere near what's happening, but for some reason, they're getting fires at their oil refineries, just like you had the oil refineries, and Saudi being hit, Iran being hit, right? You had America take over Venezuela, right? You got the streets and things being blocked because they're trying to come with this reset, right? And they're doing it, and that's why it says here that in Revelations 13 and 15 it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So he has the power to bring forth this new world order system. All right, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And ultimately, you'll be X'd out and cut out of society once they go forward with their plans, turning things digital, right? To buy, sell, trade, or anything like that, you will need to be, basically in the system, the new system that they're bringing about. All right, that's why even like I said earlier regarding the USSR, when it was in that Cold War, basically the economy of Russia, Russia, right? It was doing bad because they weren't in the system, right? As the brother said, they weren't in the clique, So so that's the same thing that's about to happen now as they move forward with this new system. But what they're doing is causing everything else around the world to fail. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. This mark is the Karagma, right, which is a digital device that will be put inside your body. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the name of his name. All right, so you need this mark to buy and sell, and that goes for free and bond, rich and poor, right? Your corporations, your things like that, your trade, right? Those ships are, some ships is getting through the Strait of Hormuz, right, with cryptocurrency, right? Because they're resetting how the world works and who owns these things, right? And they're crippling societies to bring in the solution, right? Order out of chaos. That's why I say we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, because you have this video here with Australia refineries being basically blown up. They don't know what happened, but we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know that this is happening because this devil is, moving on with his plans, right? And these are the signs of the end. That the scriptures say, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. All right, this is Second Esdras 9. It says Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right. So we're measuring the time diligently, right, and watching for the signs and whatnot. And what's about to happen is Jacob's trouble in a big way, because with all these critical infrastructure being destroyed, right, what the world depends on, and they're trying to bring about their new system, everything collapses, right? People are going to go hungry, no lights, no power, killings, as Second Esdras 15 and 16 tells us, right? So that's why you have things like this even happening in Australia where it should not be happening, right? It says, therefore, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. All right, so we're witnessing those effects and the signs of the end now. All right, and once again, this goes into what we're about to enter into, right, which is the testing period, right? Jacob's trouble, Right? These devils, they're going to lose control of all of this that they're doing right now. It's gonna spiral out of control. Right? There's going to be a lot of death, a lot of destruction, and a lot of war too. All right, so I'll get it from Second Ezra 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." The pride of these devils, right? Obadiah 1 and 8. These devils, well, not at 1 and 8, Slaki, but just Obadiah 1, these devils think they're going to, accomplish something, right now, basically. So they're crashing it all to bring about something new, and it just won't happen. Obadiah 1 and 1, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right? And that's the pride of these devils. They're so prideful that they're about to collapse the whole world to try to bring about a reset so they can get total control and total power. Right? And as Job tells us, when they're about to fill their belly, everything the wicked shall come upon them. Right? And the Most High is going to rain down the iron weapon upon these devils, which is the nuclear missiles. Because in the mix of all of this happening, a thought pursuant to Ezekiel 38 is going to come into the mind of Russia, and Russia is going to come against America and Israel. Right? And at that time, Yahweh Shai pulls up. Okay, so it's all going to shit, basically, with everything that's happening right now. And it has already started. There's no really stopping it, right? The infrastructure and things like that, the means to, get the oil out of the ground and produce it, and also, travel the waterways and things like that. That's all been disrupted, It says, Obadiah 1 and 3, it says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, then shall I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai." All right. And even this is going into it. It says, "If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?" But the Most High is going to utterly destroy these devils, right? Land of Israel and land of America. It says, "How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a lien under thee, and there is none understanding in him." Right? It goes into basically America's allies, right? The things that America is doing now in these last days, basically American Israel is turning the nations against them, right? Because they're all fighting for, a piece of the pie, basically, in this new world order that's being set up, right? And some people, let's just say, are not playing fair. It is what it seems to be looking like here, and that's looking like America and Israel, right? So, let me grab Malachi. Says, I'll get it from 4, Malachi 1 and 4 says, "Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places," which they did. "Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai hath indignation forever." So ultimately, the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Awashai is going to destroy these devils. They rebuilt the desolate places, and now they're trying to do something like new again, basically. All right, trying to set themselves up even better. All right, and they think they can do it by just overpowering everybody, but the Most High is going to come in and destroy them ultimately. Right, so it's no coincidence. And I'll get this real quick, and then I'll play the video. Once again, going to the fact that these different oil refineries around the world are being hit. even in places where there's no war or anything like that. All right, so it says it's no coincidence, meaning it is no coincidence means that events or facts are connected, right? It is no coincidence means that events or facts are connected, planned, or caused by a specific reason rather than being random, accidental, or by chance. It suggests a deliberate link or hidden design behind occurrences, often used to imply a casual relationship. And the relationship is that things are happening around the world to bring about a desired effect or a desired change, right? Even Trump said the greatest reset or something like that. He posted, right? It says it's no coincidence that he got the highest score. He studied for weeks. It's no coincidence that the prices rose right before the holiday. It says implies a planned, non-accidental event, and that's a lot of things like that. You can even see situations like JFK, the 9/11 event, the Sea Ragamuffin event, all these different things. They were talking about it way before in advance, right? Even Aaron Russo, with the dude Nick Rockefeller was telling us what they plan to do with the 9/11 event and the micro C-HIP and things like that. Even Iran, Israel told you about the 7 wars they were going to try to do in 5 years, whatever the case may be, which it took longer than that. But it's all leading to this point, and that whole war system, 7 wars, was for them to gain total control of the region and the resources, and that's what they're trying to do now as they enter into this new world order. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit of this video, and that'll be it. But again, this is Australia. Like, why is it happening in Australia with nothing even over there?
With Australia and the world in the grips of a fuel crisis, a fire has broken out at one of Australia's 2 remaining oil refineries. Emergency crews were called to reports of explosions and flames shortly before midnight.
Viva Energy says its Geelong facility supplies about 10% of Australia's fuel and about half of Victoria's. The full scale of the damage is not yet known, but you can see those pictures there. And we've got our reporter, Costa Haratos, at the scene in Corio. Costa, good morning. Can you just take us through what has happened here in Geelong overnight?
James, good morning to you. You can see the smoke behind me this morning. This all broke out about 11 p.m. last night when residents around the Viva Energy facility heard loud explosions and then phoned 000. Now, we've just had an update from Fire Rescue Victoria a short time ago who say that fire continues to burn out of control. However, it has been contained to the facility itself. Liquid fuels and gases are currently on fire, James. They're burning. You can smell the smoke in the surrounding area. Of course, it is very cold this morning, but a number of specialist Fire Rescue Victoria teams are at that site. We had that update from Fire Rescue Victoria just a short time ago on the latest. Here's what they had to say.
The fire commenced in what is known as the MoGas plant, and it's been some sort of leak of hydrocarbons, flammable liquids, which had very readily caught fire. And it has now been quite a major fire that's been burning all night and still is burning.
Now, James, all staff at that facility have been accounted for, but a wind change has forced the smoke to move towards the town of Geelong overnight. A watch and act warning is in place and people have been told to shut their windows, stay indoors as that smoke continues to move across the area. This refinery has significance for the country. It's just one of 2 in the country at the moment. It can produce 120,000 barrels of manufacturing petrol, diesel, jet fuel, avgas, of course.
Right. So as you can see, some type of way this refinery is going up in smoke, right? And they're calling it explosion or something. They don't really know, but we know, right? This is all planned, right? It's no coincidence. And as they said, the wind shifted, and now the smoke from this explosion is going into babies' lungs and things like that, where they have to stay inside doors. And this is another way how the people are, getting affected, right? And whatnot. Let me grab this. Habakkuk 2. This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he's a proud man. Now to keep it at home, who enlarge his desire as hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but that's unto him all nations, and he unto him all people. Right. So this man is all around the world trying to gather up all the nations. You know, he wants to know, he's not satisfied, and is as death. Right. And that's why he's he transgresses by his policies, right? His laws that he's pushing out. That goes to the banking elites that's pushing out this new world order. Right. You pushing forward this plan to get rid of the oil refineries, and already people are suffering just from the smoke, whatnot blowing away, and it's only gonna get worse. So Slack, I just want to touch on that. I gotta get up out of here. Grab this real quick. This is Ephesians 5:15. It says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." Right? And Jacob's trouble is fastly approaching, which we are already in it, but it's only increasing. All right, so Lord willing, you edify from the lesson. Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.